All right, we're going to look at this harness and bungee cord setup, and this is, I picked this up. This is a climber's harness, and I thought that it gave me the flexibility to put the resistance where I needed to put it, and you just kind of step in this thing. I don't have the right pants on right now, should have baseball pants on, and when I get inside this thing, then I'll go ahead and adjust it so that it's tight around my waist. So I've got it up in here and just kind of cinch it up. And this is a rock climber's harness, and I picked it up because I've got two grandsons that are big wall rock climbers, and so you want this thing cinched up, and then it's tight around here, but it's got some hooks in here that you can hook into, and then just cinching it up tight around the waist. And I'm going to go resisted and assisted. And what I've got is I've got the bungee cord hooked into the fence here. And what I'm going to do is for the first part, I'm going to put the resistance on the back hip. So I'm just going to come through here. I'm going to hook it into this loop in front. Okay. And so now all the resistance is on my back side. So, and I'm actually going to throw up. Right now I'm just going to shadow this. But what is happening is I feel this, and I can move away from the fence to create more resistance. I don't know how I'm doing on the camera here, if I'm okay.
It's mainly cut off a little bit, but
okay. Well, you can go ahead and zoom out.
Okay.
Zoom out.
It's about as far out as it zooms.
Okay. All right. So I've got this resistance back in here. You can see. So it's on my back hip. So now, as I create resistance, it's pulling me back. So what does that force me to do? It forces me to get connected to the ground. I'm really on my heel right now, and I'm really loaded on this back side because I'm trying to resist this pull back in here. So now what it does, it gives me a position where I'm using my glute to turn my hips, which is exactly what I want when I create that torque angle when I'm pitching. So I'm staying closed on the backside, then I'm using it forces me really to use my lower half properly. Another thing it does, especially if you got a real arm hooker that are long and hooked back in here, it doesn't allow you to do that. It keeps you a little bit more in line. Not that if you have a counter rotation that it's not going to restrict you in that way. Okay, so now I've got the resistance back in there. Now if I wanted to change the resistance a little bit, and maybe I want to have the resistance more in front, I'm going to unhook it, and I'm going to go through, and I'm going to hook to this front hip here, and it gives me a totally different feel. It gives me a feel where now I'm really forcing myself into counter rotation. The main reason that we use this device, it's all about feel, so that I can feel what my body's doing. So now I kind of feel where I'm getting close. For these guys that get open early with their hips and shoulders, where they don't create that torque angle or that X that you see in golfers a lot of times, this keeps that front side in. So it keeps me linear longer, and then I have to work to open up when I throw. But I get a feel what this thing is like when it's closed. Now if it opens up early, I can really feel it because the pull is across my hips, and I can feel this tension through here. So now when I do that and my hips open early, my arm drags and goes flat, and there's a lot of forearm fly out, and it creates probably a bad sequencing of events. But it's totally meant to create a feel for your delivery. Okay. The next thing is, I'm going to change it a little bit, and actually I'll keep it the same, and I'll work as a left-handed pitcher. If I've got alignment problems, okay, where I don't have good alignment, I step way across my body and try and bring the ball back to the plate, even though slightly across is not a bad thing. With this on my back hip, it kind of pulls me in line, so I can, the more resistance I put on it, the more momentum I create going to the plate. If I want to move it a little bit, I'll move it just to this front loop here, and I'll hook in this front loop that's right in front of me, and that gives me that really directional pull to the plate. Now, by having the pull in front, it forces you to stay back over the rubber a little bit, stay a little bit more grounded, because the natural thing is to have this thing pull you forward. So I resist that pull, and I create a ground effect on this back side. So now, when I put it there, or if I even want to move it for a little bit more of a pull, let's say on this front hook right here, where it's really, I can really feel that pull to the plate. It gets me directional, and it also creates momentum. It also makes me decelerate better, because with the momentum, it forces me into more momentum going to the plate, 180 degrees of shoulder rotation, so I have a longer arc of deceleration out in front.